Ridley Scott, Hollywood icon, legendary filmmaker. Recently was in an interview and he kind of made the suggestion that Alien versus Predator is what ruined the Alien franchise. This comes to us from folks over Geek Tyrant who, quoting the interview, said this. This is Ridley Scott saying, "You get to the point where you say, okay, it's dead in the water. I think Aliens versus Predators was a daft idea. And I'm not sure it did very well or not. I don't know. But somehow it brought down the beast." So he's specifically pointing at Alien versus Predator. Now, look, I don't think there's anybody watching this show right now that is going to jump to the front of the let's defend Alien versus Predator line. All I'll say is this. While they are not Hollywood classic films, I got a bit of a kick out of the Alien versus Predator movie, particularly the second one. Again,
Requiem.
Yeah, I'm not saying they deserved any Oscars. I'm not saying they were great films. I'm just saying there was some fun to be had. If you went into them with the right mindset, I think there's some fun to be had, particularly with the second one. But that being said, were they great films? No. Did they do anything to further or help the legacy of the Alien franchise? No. But Ridley, come on. Now, look, before I say what I'm going to say, let me be clear of something I said a little bit earlier. Ridley Scott is an icon. He is a legend. He's one of the greats. And if there were a Hollywood Hall of Fame, Ridley Scott is a first ballot Hall of Famer. No doubt, no question. I'm not arguing that. His last 15 years or so, not so great, maybe.
Yeah. And Gladiator 2 is still to be seen.
Yeah,
so.
By the way, I'm looking forward to Gladiator 2.
Me too.
And hey, The Martian was fantastic.
Yes.
But Ridley, you're talking as if Alien Cubed doesn't exist.
Cubed.
I mean, that's how it was spelled, right? Alien with the little 3.
Yeah.
You're acting like Alien Cubed. And like after that, we didn't get a little film called Alien Resurrection, which I could be wrong. Hold on a second. Let me pull this up. I think it made like $160 million. Let me see if I can find it here. Alien Resurrection. There it is. Yeah, it made $161 million at the box office. This is before the Alien versus Predator movies came out. All right. So you had Alien Cubed, which nobody celebrates. Didn't David Fincher direct that?
The third?
Alien Cubed? Yeah, I think David Fincher directed that, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, then you had Alien Resurrection. Ridley. The Alien franchise was pretty much dead by the time they got around to Alien versus Predator. If anything, the hope was like Alien versus Predator might breathe a little bit of life back into the franchise. Now, whether it did or did not, I mean, that's up for debate. But also, Ridley, I would propose if you want to start pointing fingers at what ruined the Alien franchise, I think you might want to pull a Michael Jackson and start with The Man in the Mirror. Because Prometheus is a very divisive film.
Yeah.
Like, listen, there are some people out there who really like that film. All power to them. Like, really, really love that film. But there's a lot of people that don't. I'm one of them. I thought it had very, very lofty ideas, like super lofty ideas, but it did not execute. Like, and that's starting that opening with the engineers and everything like that on the planet.
Right.
Like, that was awesome. I like the first minutes of Prometheus, I was all in.
I was more into like wanting to see what the engineers were, not so much the beginning of the Alien. Like, they were much more interesting to me than that.
So you had Prometheus, which was very divisive, but it made about $400 million, roughly a Black Adam.
Mm-hmm.
But you can really tell how people responded to a movie by how many people go out to see the sequel. And when its sequel came out, Alien Covenant, which also was not a good movie in my opinion, almost half. it dropped almost in half because it went from making about $400 million for Prometheus down to about $240 million for Covenant. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Gametime. My wife Ann and I love going to events, whether they're comedy shows, concerts, an LA Lakers game. I mean, just the other night we went to go see Ronnie Chang and it was awesome. We love having these new experiences and new memories. And our sponsor Gametime makes getting tickets for concerts and events faster and easier, even if you don't buy tickets right away. Because prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer you get to the show start time. With killer last minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying event tickets. I couldn't believe how easy and most importantly, intuitively, the entire app works. Finding the event I was looking for couldn't have been easier. The way it lays out the map of the venue, letting you know exactly where the seats are that you're looking for, and how easy the process was to choose and buy those tickets. So don't worry if you think you're too late to get tickets to that big event you and your friend want to go to. They have last minute deals. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, whatever. So guys, take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code Campea for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code Campea, C-A-M-P-E-A, for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. And that was directed by Ridley Scott. So, while I will concur that Alien vs. Predator and maybe Alien vs. Predator Requiem didn't do anything to advance the mythology and advance the status of the Alien franchise, I would also submit that the franchise was pretty much ruined before Alien vs. Predator ever came out. And the movies that came out after Alien vs. Predator didn't do anything to help it much either with Prometheus and Covenant. Again, recognizing there are people out there, those films have their fans.
Sure,
100%. And I'm not taking anything away from that. But yeah, I would say Ridley, maybe you're looking in the wrong direction and you shouldn't be putting the blame for the ruination of the franchise. And by the way, thank God for Fede Alvarez for resurrecting this franchise, because he's breathed a lot more life back into the franchise thanks to Alien Romulus. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Do you agree with Ridley Scott that Alien was ruined by Alien versus Predator? Or do you kind of agree with me where it's like, well, actually, Ridley, the ruination of the property kind of started before Alien versus franchise, and Prometheus and Covenant didn't do it any favors? Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts.